to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here in the studios of Unity 93.3 FM this lovely Wednesday morning, the 8th day in the month of November 2023. Petrus Adamu E.G. remains my name, and the program is Unity Train on radio and of course on TV. Okay, we're reaching you live from the city of Jos, Plateau State, Nigeria, the home of peace and tourism. In the studio this morning, I have a guest, someone who together would do the needful from now until the very last segment of Unity Train. And in the studio is Barrister Yusuf Buhari, a legal practitioner, a public affairs analyst, and he will say a very big good morning to my listener and of course my viewer before we go on and on.
Good morning, viewers and listeners, and wishing you a very good, great day ahead.
All right. Greetings there from Barrister Buhari. Together we'll be doing the needful this morning. And before we go on and on, I just want to say thank you again for always tuning onto these very stations to listen and then make your own contributions as regard issues that we have trending on our dailies. And so we will just begin and then we see what we have to do on this segment. You know, this segment is that segment with which we get to bring up issues as we have them trending on our national dailies, and then we digest. And this is just to set the pace with which later on during your segment as a listener and a viewer, you come in to throw your own opinions regarding all of the issues. And so let's get to see this one. This one is coming from The Punch. It's a police labor clash and Imo. If you remember recently there, we have this experience which of course is so sad, so to say. Labor chairman was actually, being beaten, and then somehow is a big issue, and I know you have something to say. So a barrister is in the studio, and together let's just look at what we have to say around this issue. Barrister, is a clash, and you wonder how this would be. These are the very people and most Nigerians will trust that will fight their cause, and here a big clash.
Well, let me say allegedly beaten.
Allegedly beaten, yes, of course, because it's yet you're a barrister.
Because and it remains contentious. All the parties are not agreeing with the position given out there. Well, anyway, let me say this. It has never been a rosy relationship between labor, the police, and then mostly, sometimes with the government. It has been a tradition and a sustained tradition of hostility. Maybe because it's a competition of demands and supply. The labor demands, and they expect their employers to supply. And of course, you expect a spark of a flash and occasional crisis.
Yes.
It was a very, very sad day. Sad day for our country because the international community watched this sordid affair. It was uncalled for, very unnecessary. There was no reason for it anyway. But having said so, I would like to say something here that Ajiro, the president of the Labour,
yes,
I think he lacks certain things as a Labour leader.
Okay.
The Labour leader we saw in Hassan Somono, the Labour leader we saw in Adam Oshomole. He lacks the wisdom, the doggedness of Adam Oshomole, and the lucidity of Adam Oshomole. And then he also lacks the dexterity and the daring capacity of Hassan Somono. And he needs these ingredients for him to push through the crisis that are here in hand. Particularly so, the situations are even more disturbing now than before because the economy is very stormy. and he is expected to deliver because there is this competitive demand against a falling economic fortune. So you can see this kind of clash. But I think he needs to deploy tactics, doggedness, and he has to appreciate the ambience, more so the off-season election that is taking place in Imo State. And don't forget the involvement of labor in partisan politics this time around. Open them and make them vulnerable to political attacks and negative interpretations. Every action of labor leaders today in Nigeria is attended to by the opposition party to them as middlesome middlesome interpolar engagement, which is very wrong. But labor must be allowed to function. They represent the productive part of our society. They give in more than they take, and they are giving in more now than ever before, because the economic situation in the country, like I said earlier on, is pretty volatile. And we expect leadership from them too. But the government should understand and engage wisely, because at the end of it all, the loser is going to be the Nigerian state. In that case, it shouldn't be like we against them. No, it should be people involved in creating what is called a collective patrimony that belongs to everybody. I am not agreeing and I'm not subscribing to the treatment meted to him. Whatever might be the level of the engagement or the infraction, I detest it, and I think the society too should register its rejection of that. But that shouldn't stop our the system from moving. We need to really move.
Well, thank you very much, Barrister. I owe our listener and our viewer to explain to them why Mr. Shuaibu Doro is not on seat today on today's edition of Unity Train. And so I beg to just take a minute or more to just tell our viewer and our listener. Yes, of course, our viewer and listener, Shuaibu Doro, the producer of Unity Train, happens not to be on seat today, especially for this segment of newspaper review. This is because Shuaibu, is bereaved, and he is attending a burial this very morning of late Mama Abes Ayok, mother to Pa Isaiah Ayok, who died at the age of 93. So Shuaibu Doro is attending that burial today, and that is why he's not with us in the studio this morning. We are missing him already, but we just pray that he would get to come here tomorrow in the studio, God's willing, and then our hearts goes to that family of Pa Ayok. All right, we'll just go back to just getting to see our next headline, Barrister, if you don't mind. At this time, let's see this one. It has to do with Tinubu's economic policy will shock dollar speculators, and it's coming from the Punch. Okay, talking about dollar.
Well, I think we are going to see the shock, and we are expecting this shock therapy.
How soon are we expecting this shock, Barrister? I'm sure.
Well, they say economy is a coward. Any small volatility in the system send it to slumber. I think combination of policies, principles, and precepts that are germane in economic drive. You cannot shock dollars or speculators until and unless you are able to work on your demand and supply, your interest rate. Because interest rate determines a lot in attracting FDI, foreign direct investment. If your currency is very, very strong, the tendency is to give a different interpretation. That most likely not going to be quite susceptible to the normal economic variables. What about the competition in demand and supply and your foreign export capacity? When you don't really export, you don't have control of any attraction to foreign direct investment, which in return would give you a supply of foreign currency.
Yes.
So it's really micro and microeconomic issues that will address this matter. And actually, we are in terrible situation.
Yes,
when you look at the as a country. So the system requires that the government comes out with a deliberate policy and of course tested policy to see that we are our currency is stabilized, taking advantage of the economic activities to leverage on and to improve our capacity for purchase and capacity for export. Unless these are mundane issues are addressed, we are going to see no shock. But if they are properly addressed, of course we are going to see some improvement. But the government, I think, need to tighten up its belt. Luxury demands shouldn't be adhered to. We should go to the needies, and we need to really, as a country, appreciate the meaning of needs and wants. For now, we should only do what compelling needs of our lives. What are those things that are necessary? And if you recall, you see the kind of reaction that greeted this, the purchase of these luxury vehicles to our
lawmakers.
I think it gives a very wrong signal. It's like we are not really connecting very well, or the government is not really connecting very well with the masses. Here on one hand, we are asking people to tighten up their belts, but on the other hand, the belts are relaxed and in fact removed. So it gives a contradictory signal that is not coherent enough for people to interpret. Are we actually out on a serious economic reformatory drive? Are we ready to curtail our luxuries? Are we ready to introduce austere measures that will prop up economic fortunes for people to drive on? I think we need to be very serious, because the collapse is becoming irretrievably bad, that honestly we are in a terrible situation. So I pray the president will have the wisdom to understand and have the economic team that will be honest and straightforward with him to dish out the policies.
I love it when you say economic team that will be honest.
Yes.
So it seems like we lack it in terms of having people who would be honest, who would be faithful, who would be, having the interest of the masses at heart. Sometimes we see this not really when you say it, but it is seen when it is not working for the common man.
Yeah.
So that's what you're saying. And of course, you also mentioned the issue of luxury.
Yeah.
So, and again, we should be able to separate between wants and needs.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe your take is tilting towards the fact that there is that urgent need to see how we relieve every common Nigerian from the hardship, people are going through. So, but before we go to our last headline, or one of the headlines we'll be dealing with this morning, and so, what would you prefer, to be done in order for every Nigerian to have it a bit relief, and then maybe life a bit, good going?
I think the system should create, or must create, an environment where trading activities will dominate the entire source of our income. Because if we allow the government to dominate, and the government is becoming pretty unattractive economically, then these problems are going to continue. And we should also forget about the political correctness of trying just to do something to a populist outing that will not be sustained, or will not stand the heat of the time.
All right.
The government should be honest and realistic in its approach to everything.
Oh, I see. And now let's just go to politics this time around, Barrister.
Yeah.
That is politics on the plateau.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you have a lot to say as you get politics on the plateau. Okay, this one is coming from Daily Trust. It says, appeal court sags PDP senator declares Lalong winner. Okay, before this of Lalong, we've had others also that has to do with the Plateau North Central District and also Bassages North as well. And then you have few others, and then here comes the one that has to do with the former governor of this beautiful state, Plateau State. Now, Barrister, a lot of people have been, describing this judgment as conflicting judgment. Some seem to not to accept the judgment, the wisdom of the judges, finalizing or deciding, making such a judgment. But maybe we'll not be talking about whether the judges were there, do they have the right to have done that or not? No. But let's just look at politics in the angle of, appeal courts and, sacking PDPs because of some certain abnormalities, so to say, according to some quarters, they call it so. What have you to say around here?
Well, it's rather unfortunate you are pinning me down on an issue that I've been trying to avoid because sentiment and emotions have already taken over the space. For lawyers, we believe that there is no one case that is all the same. No way.
Okay.
Every case has its own peculiarity.
I see.
There used to be one jurist called Sheikh Abubakar Gumi, late, who said in one of his books, Where I Stand, he says, cases are like faces. They look the same, but they are not the same.
They are not the same. They look the same,
only
but
look
they are
the
not the
same.
same.
And I've listened to this conversation on the plateau. That look, this thing happened here. Why shouldn't it be happening here? No.
And people are beginning to question
yes,
the integrity of the judges
the integrity
involved.
of the judges and what have you. And I've been saying that look, the approach, the process, the procedure, and of course the way you coach your relief, the way the petitions are written, the assemblage of evidences and facts, varied.
Wow.
And I think in the wisdom of those people that had created all these things, the Constitution, the Electoral Act, and the party guidelines, they all agreed to submit to the first court, the second court in legislative election,
yes,
in governorship election and presidential election to the Supreme Court,
to Supreme, yes,
to determine whether there was a misjudgment from the earlier or the earliest court. And the consistency to me has been maintained.
Okay.
And like I said, I wouldn't want to say much because I don't want to fall into the fray that is burning a lot of people. But the issue of court compliance is a very serious constitutional issue. Whether the court has jurisdiction or it doesn't have. Once an order is dished out by a court, my brother, go and comply. Because that will follow you until the end of your adjudication. And you'll have problems almost everywhere.
Wow.
I was part of the team in Zampara case, 2000, I think, 2019,
all right,
where the entirety of the election of House of Assembly, the House of Reps, the Senate, and the governor were given to PDP. Do you know the infraction? It was mere breach on guidelines of the party.
The parties.
Not the Electoral Act, not the Constitution, but guidelines of the party.
The party's guidelines.
And what the Supreme Court says is, once there is a law, once there is a legal position, it must be respected. But unfortunately, this the case involving our legislators in Plateau would not go beyond the appeal court, the appeal tribunal. So there has now been placed a stamp of finality. But I think the issue of the governor, after the determination of it in the appeal, it will still go up to the Supreme Court. So I think there will be a bit of legal drama here and there. But I always respect the position of judges in every case. In every case, I'm not one of these lawyers that will come out and say the judge was this and this. And to me, we should maintain that tradition of discipline as lawyers. And I've heard a lot of lawyers talking, not quite palatable, against judgment. Or a lawyer will say, I reject. You don't reject any judgment. What do? You appeal.
Okay.
You appeal.
Even if that is...
Even if you are not in agreement with the judgment, you don't say, I reject. You don't reject nothing. What you do is to appeal, go and highlight those areas where you think the judges or the judge in that case erred, and allow the appeal to sit on it. And you might be lucky, you might not be lucky. But me, I believe in the consistency of our judicial process in Nigeria. And anytime a matter is brought before a court, whether a sui generis case, base case like election issues and the rest of them, the beneficiaries are more than just you, the litigant, the society, student of law, the lawyers, the court system. And of course, it gives a positive attraction to the international community. And politicians should begin to think, for goodness sake, the next generation, the next election. But for now, the plateau.
The plateau
for now, Nigeria. Otherwise, we'll have problems. I remember too in Ebonyi, I think, not Ebonyi, Bayelsa. They lost. In Rivers State, APC lost. They were not allowed to field a candidate in Rivers, if you remember very well, if you can recall very well. So it's not an unknown legal position. It has been like this. But I think what is going to be introduced to our legal, to our political processes is you have to be very disciplined with the requirement of your party guidelines, with the requirement of the Electoral Act and the Constitution. And like I said, judges are never easy on people that do what? That refuse to comply with their judgment instructions. They are always very, tough on it.
All right, Barrister. Though you said I pin you down on an issue you would never have loved to now speak, take a position on, but you've maintained your neutral position, not really wanting to.
No, I don't want to. Because like I said, my brother.
Yes.
There has been a lot of confusion and frustration, and our elders in Plateau need to come on board and to rein in on the political stakeholders, so that they don't put this beautiful state in crisis once more. Politicians are sometimes people you don't invest in because you might be disappointed. What they think of is not what you, a neutral onlooker, is looking at it. But what I said, we have up to Supreme Court. But unfortunately, for those judgments that you brought in, they have come to their final level, and nothing could now be adduced on it. What you need to do, if you lose, go back to your constituent and work on them, and make sure that. And again, sometimes politicians think that lawyers are just there to go to court. A lot of parties don't have legal consultancy that will guide them during the processes of their filings. They don't. They wait until when the matter is negatively pronounced, they now look for a lawyer, and that has always been a problem. As a politician, when you are filing your papers, you need to have a lawyer close to. And I think National Assembly should have this law where lawyers' compliance are part of the requirement in filling your
petitions,
not petitions, your papers applying to contest.
All right,
even
officers, from the very beginning.
That will reduce the tension. That will reduce the problems that we have. I think that should be part of it.
Oh, that's a great one there, Barrister. Now, you have taken me to a part where I would want you to make a call. I'm sure this you'll be willing to do, to just call for peace so that people will still see reasons to peacefully coexist.
Yes. You see, we don't have better than Plateau, whether we like it or not. And what would annoy you is that when you go out there, when you hear people talking about Plateau, they talk about paradise on the earth. But we don't appreciate this God gift. We think politicians are going to define our future. They don't have much future. How can they define your own? But we have generation next. We have people that are looking up to the system to propel them to greater height. So please and please, first is the issue of peaceful coexistence. We should learn when you lose, you go back home. When you win, as a celebrant, you should be assisted to enjoy and to
Barrister.
Yes.
When you said we have generation next, I want to believe you were not identifying with APC because that was a slogan, generation
so
next.
you saw generation next. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm talking about. I think they must have borrowed from this philosophy of tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
that
yes.
generation next tomorrow. Yes. So innocently I evoke that.
Yes,
but what I'm talking about is the future of the state.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. It's a philosophy, it's a concept of generation next. That America is built on generation next philosophy.
Yes.
You are not just talking about yourself. In fact, you think less of yourself, but more of America as a society. And that's why they are where they are today.
Yes. By the way, even if that was some sort of identifying with APC, that too wouldn't be bad. But anyway, you have not chosen to
I want to talk to you as a lawyer here.
Thank you very much. Okay, our listener and our viewer, it's about time for us to go on a short break. We'll be coming back, and when we do, it's going to be a whole time. You stay tuned. Thank you.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your...
Get ready to be entertained and inspired by the incredible stories around the globe. Don't miss out on the excitement. Hello at Work is an ultimate TV program that brings to you the interesting stories and daily happenings worldwide. Join us Mondays and Thursdays, 10 a.m. as we dive into the daily happenings and stories. Tune in and stay. Say hello to the world as you bring in your ideas, as it is a perfect blend of entertainment and information. Get ready to stay up to date while being entertained.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the worrisome increase in the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The FSRCC and NBC hereby advises the general public to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Make sure to verify the licensing status of such companies and schemes on this website. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call 0700 225 5226, 0800 225 5226, or +234 817 665 6273. Let's work together to uphold the integrity of Nigeria's financial system. Announcer, FSRCC.
Please pay attention. It starts from the foundation. Everybody needs somebody. You turn a blind eye and care nothing less. Say it's just business, all about the money. You are so unbothered as long as they pay. Say it's just business, all about the money. You know they're on a fast lane, but you've got business to run. So you look away the other way.
It concerns you. It a kill law, it a kill dreams. It a land people for jail. War against drug abuse.
Are you bored and need some company? Get a TV experience like no other on Unity TV. We are turning up the hits with captivating TV shows, electrifying political programs, music, movies, and lots more that will leave you craving. I'm sure you want to know more. Tune in to Unity TV today and let the excitement take over.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion?
So much, and it's good to still be in the studios of Unity 93.3 FM and TV. Patrice Adomo Iji remains my name. Kobe is still okay with me and in the studio this morning. It has been a very wonderful section with Barrister Buhari, a legal practitioner, you know, a public affairs analyst. He's been in the studio, and together we'll just look at this very segment as well, which of course we will just bring up a topic. We have a topic for discussion this morning, and so with him we'll be doing the needful. Don't forget, Unity 93.3 FM is reaching you live from the city of Jos, Plateau State, Nigeria, to be precise, on the hills of ZINARIYA in Jos North. Okay, this morning, of course, you cannot overemphasize the importance of opposition party in a democratic setting like that of Nigeria. And so this morning, we'll be looking at opposition politics in Nigeria. And so I will just turn to Barrister Buhari this morning, and let's begin the discussion this way. Why do we even have different political? Why should we do? Okay, let's start from, do we even have different political parties, and why should we have them in a democratic setting?
Okay, historically, democracy is about multiple offers for choices.
All right.
Multiple offer for choices.
Multiple offer for choices.
For you to choose between this and this. And in this offer, so many ideological classifications are established historically. So many. But let us, for the purposes of this conversation, let's narrow it on the epicenter of democracy, United States of America, and then coming down home here. They have two major political parties, though they have the Green parties, they have these parties, but they are not known, and they have never won any significant election in the United States of America. The Republican Party was established in the 1920s, and the idea, I want to give you how they stand, and the way they melted down to quasi-democracies like our own. They believe in liberal economic adventures. They believe in lean government. They believe in conservatism as maintaining your value system.
All right.
Like they are not seriously into LGBT issue. Their value system is stronger than that of the Democrats. And they believe that the private ownership should dominate the economic facet of production and services. Unlike the Democrat.
All right.
their disposition has some element of socialism. That is little control of state means of services and production. And they are more liberal in their approach to governance. They too talk about the value, the right of expression. They activate easily their amendments 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. But the distinguishing difference is this one believes in bigger government and this one believes in smaller government. The participation in it, that the private sector should play a prominent role. That is in democratic philosophy, in Republican philosophy. But in Democrats, they believe that the state has to be intervening to moderate the growth of the society. These are the different. Then let us come down to Nigeria. Historically, we had the NPC, which was a conservative party by nature, taking all its variables and dictation from the normatives that are enshrined in UK parliamentary tradition. Then we had then the ABGA, then the NEPO, that were a little to the left. Then in 1979, we had MPN that was hyper-conservative. Then we have the NPP and the other parties that were more liberal, more attuned to socialism and welfareism. Now let us come down to this level and why opposition. Now we have the PDP and the APC. That seems to have a bit of confusion of their ideological standing.
Yes, and that actually, Barrister, you're already getting to the next questions, which of course it has to do with ideological differences.
Yes.
Because in your submission earlier on, you were giving us concerning the United States, Republican, the Democrats and all that. It's like you were trying to, of course, establish their ideological classifications.
Yes.
And so now you're already answering the next question. Yes. So you do it now categorically.
Yes.
APC and PDP. Let's just pick those two and see. Is there any ideological differences?
Not quite distinguishing. Not quite. Because the politicians are not built on platform or principle stand. No. Are they properly schooled in ideological doctrination? It appears like convenience, political convenience, drive the movement. Okay. What is this convenience that I'm talking about? The visibility that victory could be here determines
it's what
where. Yes,
that's the drive.
Yes, that's the drive. Not really. I stand here whether I'm going to win or lose.
This
but
ideology.
I'm on my traditional track line. On my trajectory historically. Like in US, you can see 10 generations or 5 generations belonging to one political line. But here in Nigeria, I will keep on oscillating. That informs the reason why the opposition you are talking about is very weak. You can see the transition now. People leaving APC to PDP, depending on the available opportunities. Then from PDP to APC again
and again.
You have a minister who's supposed to have contested the presidential ticket of his political party. Today, a minister in the APC. And he's still saying, I retain my position as this. So, you see, we lack this opposition drive that would give this competitive push for the ruling party. In UK, where they have a serious opposition, they even have what they call shadow government. Shadow government is a government that has all the ministers, all the state ministers on the opposition line. They don't have the executive power, but they always showcase the way we could have done it if we were to be in the position. You can see how opposition is made. But in Nigeria, lack of opposition, honestly, is one of the reasons why we have this crisis. And I think the Constitution will assist here if it is properly amended. to include among other things that as a governor, when you come from this party to this party, you lose your seat because the contract between you and the electorate, which is the manifesto of that party, was built on the belief of that party. You were not elected on the ideology or the philosophy or the manifesto of this new party that you want to convert to. And therefore, you leave the seat. You leave all the opportunities and the privileges that was offered to you by that manifesto, the manifesto of the party, because the connecting, contracting, element in democracy is supposed to be the manifesto of the party. It's the attraction that brings you in.
Okay, Barrister.
Let me compound a little. So once that, if you want, you can call it memorandum of association. If you like, you can call it whatever. But the manifesto is supposed to be the content of the agreement, the contract, the social contract between you and those people that have elected you. So if you want to go, you go, and these people are allowed to pick. But again, we have it for the legislators. If they come and the condition given, the party there must be a factionalization that renders the parties there in the constitution. But that's not enough. There should be an unambiguous position taken by the law so that democracy will be built along the line of ideology, and the ideology will be the driving force for you to deliver.
The ideology remains the driving force for you to deliver. You mentioned something, Barrister, and this too, I think, let's talk some more about it. Manifesto. You made mention of it being a social contract between the person who is vying for a certain political office or the other and the electorate. Now, do you see manifesto being any legal documents, to work or to refer to in terms of trying to make sure we achieve good governance in this country?
In a normal democracy, the manifesto is the reason why
people decide.
People decide. But in Nigeria, we allow emotions, sentiment that are polarizing elements of our politics, divisiveness to guide the movement, and that's why we are where we are. We begin to ask about ethnicity, his religion, where he comes from, as the reason why you are going to vote for him. Instead of his manifesto, what does he, and you hold him to manifesto. You question him on his manifesto. But because we don't adhere strictly to the manifesto as the contracting document, we lose focus. Because sentiments take over. It becomes the emotion and sentiments now become the mobilization capacity for attracting people for the purposes of elections.
Okay, Barrister, what is expected, even though you've not been a politician, but of course your profession as a barrister, it is expected that you would have an idea of what is expected to contain in that document manifesto, because this is very important, because that is what it is expected that the electorate hold the office holder. By the time he is in the office, that seems to be a reference document with which people would say, when you came to us earlier on, you said you would do this and that and that. So what is expected to be contained in manifesto?
Well, let me be straight here. I cannot claim to be innocent when politicians are bash. I cannot be.
All right.
Yes, I had my own stinch. I had my own little time.
Yes.
Though not quite a prominent partisan politician. But I cannot claim to be innocent anyway. But for now, as a legal practitioner, I believe that the law should guide us, and we should try to build institutions that will guide our democratic growth, particularly the legal instrument that will make it punishable for anybody that breaks that contract, that social contract between himself and those people that have elected him. what am I saying? The manifesto should have a compelling authority. Would be a document that can go and testify against anybody that breach or infract on it. That will assist greatly. Because without something to hold on to the office holders, you will not have any reason to complain. But again, we now have to sidestep and walk away from the politics of emotion and sentiment to politics that is going to be built on positive doctrines that are based on the manifesto. And then the manifestos of the parties should wear different offers, should have different offers, so that people will be offered this opportunity to choose among who they think can do better.
Yes. Now, having gotten all the manifestos from various candidates, and then you decide this manifesto.
Are you somebody that wants a bigger government or a leaner government? Do you believe in conservatism, or do you believe in total, liberal democracy as enshrined in Democrats?
All right, so let's look at this. There's a lack of a clear or distinguished or a dichotomy between, ideological classification. How does this affect democracy? We are a typical example of the result of that. Okay. You have a very confusing direction. Your compass is not coherent because nobody can dictate where your economic policies are headed to. You cannot. Like in Nigeria, are we for liberal economy total, or are we for voluntarism, or are we for conservatism, as it were? That confusion was never seen in the first, the second, and of course the third republic, but very prominent now because of lack of coherent, principle-based politics. Like I told you, you see this cross carpeting every now and then. Somebody that will tell you will rather die than go to this party, and tomorrow you see me there. Somebody that will tell you that this party is cancerous and therefore I will not be going. Tomorrow you see him as a minister there. Oh, you see, we have this contradiction. And I want to say this. Yes. It doesn't aid. Look at Kenya. Different parties, but all with different ideological standpoints. When you are with this, you are with this, and you are for this. When you are with this, But the common denominator is, of course, the development of that society. The difference are the approaches. These are the place where these are the places where you see a bit of the differences. The approaches, but the ultimate goal is to develop the society. All right. It seems like you're already saying that having a clear ideological classifications for a political party, it really helps to deepen democracy. It does. Do you want to say maybe how does this help to deepen democracy? Because it creates classes based on the classification, and then the competition becomes even more tense, and then everyone tries to guard his stuff without allowing anybody to encroach, because you are guided by a doctrine, by a belief, and you always work hard to develop that belief. And then the ultimate is you have a traditional stronghold. Like when you go to US, these are Democrats. They may lose election for next 10 days, but they're still there. These are Republicans. They might not come close to the government for this years. They don't care. One day they will. So the same thing in Eastern Europe too. You have the right wing, the left wing, the centrists. They all know. You might have a wife that is Democrat, but you are a Republican. There is no any war. Because she must probably coming up from that kind of structure. But with this jumping left and right, we are not in any way trying to aid the development of our democracy. Democracy drives, like I said, on the capacity, the provision that allows for choice based on what you want. Once you remove choice
in democracy. Once you remove the options for choice, there is no democracy.
Okay.
And that informs the reason why people like us don't believe in rotation, don't believe in zoning, because it conscripts, it circumscribes your right to choose who you want.
Okay, Barrister, let's talk about Nigeria now. Do you think Nigerians are offered, multiple of choices as who to choose, and based on ideology? Do you think Nigerians are offered this choice?
Yeah, but nebulous offers, very nebulous.
All right.
Very nebulous that are not concrete.
Okay.
That you cannot put your hand and now know where you are headed to.
Because there is no clear...
Because there is no clear
standpoint
appreciation of the ideological standpoint of the party you belong to. So the offers are there. Yes, we have the APC, we have the PDP, you have the Labour, but just pick their approaches. You see a former APC person, prominent person today, tomorrow in Labour, next tomorrow in PDP, next tomorrow back to his APC. So how do we develop that? And let me tell you, Europeans and Americans that are holding tight to these ideological classifications, they believe it promotes this, love for where you stand. It's just like a football support, club support. Simply because your club is losing, it's not enough ground for you to walk away from it.
Yeah.
That these are really football supporters. But whereas you find somebody oscillating from this party to from this club to this club, of course you begin to question his reliability in terms of direction. Actually, we need to promote politics based on ideology, and the ideologies are contained in the manifestos of the respective parties. This will assist, will build the competitiveness in us, and politics is about competition.
Yes.
Once you remove competition, the way I see it, let me give you an example of what I'm saying. The way I see it, some PDP people are in a very serious confusion as to where they should go now. Where they should go. They've forgotten they have chance. They've forgotten they are more grounded ideologically by those that build the party, more than even APC.
Okay.
PDP, if they can stand, PDP as a political party, its historical ingredients that created that party stands more in terms of a party ideologically ground, developed party more than all the parties we have, because you are talking about a party that ruled this country for 16 years, that had the best of brain before now. But look at a lot of people are running to the winning. They can call the winning party, and I think it's not helpful. People should remain in the opposition to build the opposition. Party alternates, victory alternates too. But we shouldn't encourage, when you lose election, you just pick your bags and everything and go to the winner. You will not develop as a political party.
All right, you're already talking about you're talking like a prophet already, and not only like a barrister, because you're making me feel like you are predicting that this is probably informed because of the experience we've had in the past, where of course if the party which is thought to be a winning party, then you see everybody, like you said, pack your bags and then join the winning party. Now with what is happening on the plateau, do you foresee some members of PDP packing their bags to see how possible they could join APC anytime soon?
In Nigerian politics, is not peculiar to Plateau State.
Yes.
And it might happen. Just like it is happening in the national scene.
Yes, too.
People are just running. When you go to Kano, a lot of APC and PDP are running to NPP. And this, how do we develop as a political party? And then if we cannot develop political parties, of course you will not have a platform. You will not have a platform. And don't forget, in this our democratic disposition, party is the strongest institution, much more stronger than even INEC. Why am I saying so? Because you cannot stand as an independent candidate and win an election.
Wow.
You cannot. You must. It's a constitutional provision. You must belong to a political party for you to contest election.
And I see sponsorship is one of the things.
It is the most important thing. You have to first belong to a political party. Most of the laws broken and election cancelled are mere party guidelines and electoral laws. But here the issue of belonging to a political party is a constitutional provision, constitutional demand that you have to belong to a political party.
Barrister,
so why can't we develop something that is very is a compelling necessity for you to belong before you realize what you are aspiring to be? And this is the political party. And political parties are only built and developed along the line of ideologies. It's one over. You cannot escape this.
All right, maybe in a minute, Barrister. Let's see. You have established already in your submissions that this will not help our democracy. And it's not even helping, by the way. And so, and you seem to also believe that it is time to have a constitutional stand where it will be very hard or even very impossible for one to cross from one party to the other just because in the feelings that this is the winning party at the moment. So how do you think we can address this? Though we have just 2 minutes to go on a short break.
By our legislation, honestly, we need to do that. And then we need to come by proper enlightenment that where you belong, there is all the good is just wait.
There you should remain.
Yes, there you should remain. And the law should strengthen that. Like I said, in the Constitution, we have, I think 69, where it talks about defection and what. But the punitive are only taken against legislators. What about the executives? There is none. You can run from this party to this party as a governor, and nothing happens to you.
Nothing happens.
But the assemblyman, whether House of Assembly, House of Reps, or Senate, we should make it all encompassing. This is the punishment for doing this. You will see, we will live to agree and to mix with ourselves and to develop a formula for a proper working relationship. We miss the point. But at this party, in the Arab countries like the Levant, is more than 500 years. The Brotherhood in Egypt is more than 300 years. The Republican and the Democrat in US, they are more than 200 years. You can see how they move.
Ideology.
But here we are.
All right, thank you very much, Barrister, for taking us on the ride up to this very time. Our viewer and our listener will be going on a very, very short break. We'll be coming back. And when we do, it's going to be your time. So please stay tuned.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your...
Please pay attention. It starts from the foundation. Everybody needs somebody. You turn a blind eye and care nothing less. Say it's just business, all about the money. You are so unbothered as long as they pay. Say it's just business, all about the money. You know they're on a fast lane, but you've got business to run. So you look away the other way.
It concerns you. It kill law, it kill dreams. It land people for jail. War against drug abuse.
Get ready to be entertained and inspired by the incredible stories around the globe. Don't miss out on the excitement. Hello at Work is an ultimate TV program that brings to you the interesting stories and daily happenings worldwide. Join us Mondays and Thursdays 10 a.m. as we dive into the daily happenings and stories. Tune in and stay. Say hello to the world as you bring in your ideas, as it is a perfect blend of entertainment and information. Get ready to stay up to date while being entertained.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead.
So much for staying tuned with us on Unity 93.3 FM. Don't forget, today is Wednesday, 8 November 2023, and the program remains Unity Trend this morning. And so we've been doing a lot looking at opposition, politics in Nigeria. Barrister has been in the studio, and together we have been doing a great job here, if you ask me. And this time is going to be your segment to also call and make your own contributions as regard issues raised even from the very first segment of Unity Trend, where we looked at issues trending on our national dailies. And so you may want to say something around any of those trending issues that we have. Okay, the studio line remains the same. You'll be calling us, and when you do, just tell me your name, where you're calling from, and then you go straight ahead. In a minute, you also make your own position. Barrister Yusuf Buhari still remains in the studio. He'll be responding to some of the things you will be saying later on before we say bye-bye on this Unity Train edition for today. But before then, I would apologize. Barrister would have to cap up on his positions as regard what should be done in order to have a very strong, vibrant opposition in a democratic setting like ours in Nigeria. Then our system is booting for you to be able to call and also make your own points. Barrister, still on opposition politics in Nigeria. What should be done in order to have strong opposition? Since we've already established that it's good to have oppositions to provide a varying platform with which candidates or electorate could make their choices.
Yes, opposition is a necessary ingredient in democracy, particularly liberal democracy.
Okay.
In fact, opposition is more important than the ruling party. The ruling party has just the advantage of having the steering in its hand, but the opposition is the driving force. It is the compass, both political and moral compass for any democratic practice. Because without opposition, the government might not even appreciate where they are headed to, and then the masses would not be properly directed to where the government is falling. So opposition is very important. Any political environment devoid of opposition, of course, it is an environment heading for a fall. And that's the reason why whatever it is, democracies all over the world protect oppositions, allow them the right to talk, allow them the right to make positions.
Okay. Oh, thank you very much. Any political, democratic political environment that does not allow the oppositions to flourish, it's one that is headed to, having a confused direction. And so that's the position Barrister is taking this morning. And so Barrister seemed to encourage that we should be deliberate in terms of strengthening opposition in order to deepen democracy. And so he's saying it's very important.
In fact, to highlight this, there is what we call parliamentary immunity. Within the precinct of the parliamentary, the legislator has the right to make every comment, and he will not be liable. He has the parliamentary immunity as an alibi to protect him.
Wow.
So that he talks, he says what he's supposed to say, what his constituents are asking him to say. So opposition, like I said, is much more important than the ruling party. And like I said earlier on, they are the moral direction. They are the moral compass. The opposition is the moral the opposition is the moral compass of any democratic practice.
Right.
So we must allow and we must protect it. Sometimes in African concept, oppositions are killed or they kill themselves, fear of political intimidations or economic deprivation or human rights abuses. These are the negative combinations that sometimes work against the development of opposition as a political party. And most opposition politicians are people that have strong conviction, believing in their principle. And that's why at the end of it all, they win. Most of opposition consistent opposition elements eventually have their day.
All right. Oh, thank you very much. At this point, you are free to join us, 07032353315. Your name, where you're calling from, and then please promote peaceful coexistence.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Sadiq Umar. I'm calling from Johnson.
Sadiq Umar, I'm so happy to hear from you. Please.
Yes, I will commend the barrister. He has spoken very, very well. And actually, there is a lot of things that is happening in our democratic practice, especially in Nigeria. You see, as much as political party is very, very important as democratic is concerned.
Right.
You see, the political party members, you know that these are citizens of Nigeria that are participating. But in a situation whereby we have a personal interest and the issue of godfatherism, which is spoiling our political activities. So that is why we always get it wrong when we come to selective of our leader.
All right.
You see, not only PDP, in even the ruling party, the APC, you know that we have some misunderstanding among the members. But the way we control things, that is what will bring development to every political party. So what is happening is very, very unfortunate. So we were hoping that it should be a lesson to PDP so that they will get their house in order to make sure that things are getting better. Because we measure the democracy or measure government or measure these political parties by their record. We have seen the way the former president has been under this political party, and we have seen how people have achieved. And we have seen it otherwise when it comes to other political parties. That is why we are thinking that these parties are the one that knows the problem of Nigerians and so on. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sadiq Umar. Okay, 07032353315. For those of you who are listening via our radio arm, you can get the number there and be a part of the conversations this morning. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, we cannot hear that. 07032353315 is the line to be live with us on Unity FM. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. Your name?
My name is Mustafa from Zololo Junction.
Okay, the man from Zololo Junction.
I want to say tribute to my little brother who has spoken very, very well.
All right.
I've learned a lot from him. I've never known that he has so much knowledge about this issue of politics and whatever you have access.
All right.
So kudos.
Thank you very much.
Take care of yourself.
Thank you very much for calling. Okay, I think I will stop by Zololo Junction later to get to see you. Well, he's so impressed with you, and so he extends his regards.
I
yes.
appreciate it.
Thank you. Hello, good morning. Hello? Well, I want to believe this is not some technical issue, but you might need to still keep trying. 07032353315. Hello, good morning. Yes, your name, please? Okay, Adewumi, it's good to have you already, and amen.
Thank you very much.
Amen, thank you. All right.
Or we do equation, issue of cross-capacity from one party to the other. If our political candidates, different parties do not have cross-capacity from one party to the other, just for their own, not for the benefit of the masses.
Yes.
Then we never get it right. when you see the political parties not having the sportsmanship to accept everything and whatever has happened, it will never work. This nation will so much welcome democracy, and we are happy with democracy in this nation. But we are not happy with democracy in Europe. Political parties, and because of their own interest, they have parties together. There is supposed to be a rule. The people say, unless whoever they use to elect.
All right.
And let people do that is an issue of people that after election, you start getting results from the judiciary.
Yes.
These are some of the things that are making Nigeria to be very sad. These are the things that are making people to be happy. So it's high time that political candidates accept it. Let them accept it. Let them accept the spirit of both parties.
All right.
To go to the judiciary or it should be on the basis that we should not do how we like research, oppositional research.
All right.
The election issue and bringing it for the election issue. It's like the society issue.
Thank
so
you.
let them just accept it and let them know the nation. Let the nation is. I used to say this early. Maybe there was not a leader before he was able to defeat Goliath.
Thank you very much. Yes. Thank you very much. And on our Facebook page, this one say, good morning, Kubi and the barrister. I'm watching you live from Rico's new layout. Just actually, it shows that the PDP has, I may not use this word, has issues. I'm calling all the citizens of Plateau State to remain in peace. Don't allow politics to put us in a conflict. Let's maintain peace. This one is from Aminu Abdullahi Shuaibu. Thank you, Aminu Abdullahi. Hello, good morning. Hello?
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your...
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the worrisome increase in the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The FSRCC and NBC hereby advises the general public to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Make sure to verify the licensing status of such companies and schemes on this website. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call 0700 225 5226, 0800 225 5226, or +234 817 665 6.
I'm calling on all people. Okay, this one is actually calling for peace on the plateau and then by extension in Nigeria. This one is from Usman Yahaya. Good morning. Kudos to you for the free education. Usman Yahaya, thank you for that. Ahmad Haruna. Okay, Ahmad Haruna Muazu, Unity trained students. Haruna Muhammad Muazu from Yenshanu, Plateau State, is blessed with God and brilliant people whom will never allow themselves to be used and controlled by bad eggs. Whatever it is, peaceful coexistence is of paramount importance. No matter whatever has become a leader in Nigeria, such persons cannot perform miracles to govern the state where there is no peace. May God save us. I say amen to that. Ahmad Haruna Muazu. And this one is from Dan Garba saying good morning. Thank you, Dan. And from Muhammad Tajuddin. Good morning, gentlemen. Thanks to the barrister for the analysis. I want to express my sympathies to the PDP family over the recent court cases that sacked their elected members, but this is not time for emotional statements because the judges gave their judgments based on the facts presented before them. So it's now time for PDP to come back and put their house in order in everything we do. Let's prioritize Plateau. Muhammad Tajuddin from Naraguda. Thank you, Muhammad Tajuddin. At this point, we apologize for that break in transmission that was due to unforeseen circumstances. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Kulbi. Good morning, Barista.
Oh, thank you for calling us.
It's Ambassador Abdullah Rojibo calling from Gengere.
Thank you. We apologize for the break in transmission. Please go on.
No problem. Yeah, Barista, good morning once again.
Yeah, good morning, Abdullah.
Actually, you say it all and you make my day.
Thank you.
The Almighty Allah increase your knowledge for you.
Amen.
And in any situation you are, Barista, just speak the truth. Say the truth and leave the rest to Almighty God.
Thank you.
Yeah, you see, we have to learn how to appreciate everybody. If you are doing good, good will follow you. And if you are doing bad, bad will follow you. So, Barista, sometimes if the judgment pass in the court, most of the baristas, they used to say, we did not agree with this judgment and this and that. And actually you say something. They have to go to appeal and appeal the case. Don't talk about the issue that you see that it will favor you. But in this nowadays, it's not like that. If the court do their judgment, then even the lawyer that is controlling the case, he will be shouting at the press conference that but the judges are not doing the needful, they are doing that. It's not like that. You are demeaning, you are dignity, and the judge is dignity. Let's live in peace with any other and learn to learn with the court, the judges. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Kobe, and the barrister in the studio. Kudos to him. Honestly, political parties are supposed to have different ideologies, and people are supposed to join such parties based on their ideology they believe in. But in Nigeria, our politicians don't have ideologies. They only join political parties because of their own interest, and that is why they jump from one political party to the other. That is why we should vote people based on their competence, irrespective of the political parties they belong. Peace is priceless. Let's live in peace. God bless Unity FM and Nigeria. Thank you so much. This one came from Christy Zang from Kubaro. Hello, good morning. Hello?
Hello?
Please, if you're calling, you need to stay away from your radio set. Hello, good morning. Thank you very much. It's good to have you. Who's with me? Hello? Oh, Friday Vici, it's good to hear from you this morning. So go on in a minute, please. Thank you.
Honestly, I got to comment on the barrister in the house.
All right.
I'm not impressed with his analysis this morning.
Oh, good.
And my call against all of the PDP on the platform.
Okay.
Please and please. This is not the time for them to begin to shift them on where is right and center. It is the time for them to put their heart. Because we are the followers. We do all our best to make sure that we give them the necessary support. But at the end of the day, somebody, particularly somebody like me, I'm public candidate. Because from the beginning, we're supposed to follow the text of the party. Where they're taking us to. It's quite unfortunate and that majority of the platform are feeling that, oh, this is the right time that we are going to regain hope on the platform. It's quite unfortunate. But my call is that let there be peace.
All right.
As time goes on. Thank you. And God bless you.
Thank you, Evie, Friday, for calling all the way from Rukobarat. And on these, we may not be able to pick any more calls from our listener and viewer. And this one, an SMS say, may your kindness be the source of light for you, could be Barrister Buhari and all the good people in Nigeria. Barrister, what can you say about card reader beavers? How can we make it to be legitimate? It seems our court does not recognize them. Remain blessed, Hassan Garba. Hassan G, thank you. He's not categorical. He say he seems it seems that the court does not recognize that. But you may respond to some of this, and then we call it a day.
Well, let me answer. This is very important. You know, RIV and what have you, there are improvement, there are technological innovations that are created to ease the operations of the election body and election management team. But you see, once they are not created as a compliance necessity, they cannot constitute a ground for petition. That is the problem. How beautiful, there could be beautiful innovations, but once they are not captured under the section that give a qualifying, reasons for petitioning an election, there will not be.
It's like it's not enshrined in any of these two.
But they are good innovations, and I think they should be codified in our laws so that they become part of our legal requirement. Now, you said something very important. You see, this democracy, we are just, let me use the word, we are just starting it relative to other countries that have been doing it for hundreds of years. We are heading to somewhere. We must learn. And honestly, I respect Nigerian judiciary. I told you I was on the bad side of certain judgment in Zamfara case way back 2019. I could remember. The infraction was not against the Constitution, was not against the judgment of any court, was not against the Electoral Act, but against a party guideline. And then, and then the chairman, the national chairman of APC, made frantic effort to address the issue. The court says, no, you enacted this law, that must be complied, and your party did not comply with it. And therefore, that was the harvest that PDP benefited. The entire state, the legislators, the 3 senators that were won, in fact, the representation, the presence of PDP in Zamfara State 2019 was mere 16 or 20%, but collected everything. But I think they learn now. So once there is a court judgment, even in your own knowledge, in your own belief that this court doesn't have recusal jurisdiction to hear this case, my brother, comply with that order. Work to vacate the order. Until that order is vacated or complied with, you will have problems that will become a required decimal until you reach to where we are today. But I don't want to predict anything, but we should learn as Nigerians that laws must be respected. Precepts and normatives must be respected. Once you agree to a convention, whether the convention is written or unwritten, comply with it.
Comply.
And like somebody said among your callers, there is always tomorrow.
There is always another day.
There is always tomorrow. And let me tell you something that maybe will land in the mind of the PDP brothers. You see, in terms of politicians that are product of the same ideology, that were like minds, PDP is more in position to claim that TOGA than even APC. If you remember, the creation of APC was an assemblance of different, the purpose was to defeat PDP. You remember that? But don't forget, the characters that created PDP were all together for a long period of time as practitioners of democracy. So when you look at the stability, political, ideological stability, in fact, PDP appears to be more stable as a political party. But maybe this defeat and this loss of the general election might affect it. But I want to tell them that they should think of another day and complies with the law and comply with the laws and everything that has to do with the election requirement. Democracy is growing. The biggest is Nigeria. Nigeria is bigger than anybody. Everybody.
That's your final word?
That's my final word.
Nigeria is bigger than everybody. Thank you very much, Barrister, for coming in the studio. And again, We look forward to having more of you, sir.
Yes, I appreciate that too. I will, inshallah.
Thank you very much, our viewer and our listener. With this, we've come to the end of today's edition of Unity Train. Tomorrow is going to be another beautiful day, and we look forward to God being faithful, and then we see tomorrow and we come on air. Thank you so much. Beatrice Adamoiji remains my name. Bye-bye.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead.